Good day everyone. My name is Michael Tiyupti Fatri. My assigned topic is all about the Millennium Development Goals. And now, here is the objectives. So here is the objectives. One is to determine what is Millennium Development Goals. Second is to illustrate and discuss the 8 Millennium Development Goals. Before to proceed the discussion, here is the words of wisdom. As what Kofi Annan said, the Millennium Development Goals can be met by 2015, but only if we involve break with business as usual and dramatically accelerate and scale up action now. Yeah, do it now because sometimes becomes never. And here is a short video on what Kofa says on Millennium Development Goals. Please watch this and listen.
I believe that the Millennium Development Goals are structured, identifies the basic needs of individuals, of the poorest in our society, and challenges governments to try and work with society to fulfill these needs. The needs are so basic, primary education, reducing the number of people who are starving, clean water. These are so basic that every government has to try and meet. Many governments around the world have made progress. India, China, Brazil in particular have lifted millions of people out of poverty. And in fact, both Brazil and China made the Millennium Development Goals part of their development package and systematically moved towards it. I believe it by 2015, some countries have not achieved it, and there will be many who would not have attained that goal. We should challenge them to persevere to provide these basic needs for their people. Those who have achieved them should be challenged to aim higher.
Engaging activity related to your topic. One is to know what is Millennium Development Goals. Two is to the discussion of 8 Millennium Development Goals. Discussion properly. What is Millennium Development Goals? And explain. The United Nations Millennium Declaration, signed in September 2000, commits world leaders to combat poverty, hunger, disease, illiteracy, environmental degradation, and discrimination against women. The MDG are derived from this declaration. And there is a video clip which is the continuation of discussion with the 8 Millennium Development Goals. Please watch this.
Here's a question for you. In the last 20 years, has the proportion of the world's population living in extreme poverty A, doubled, B, halved, or C, stayed the same? Let's find out. To help us, enter the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs. In 2000, all member countries of the United Nations, that's almost the entire world, agreed to 8 goals to reduce extreme poverty. In a nutshell, the MDGs are the global promises to the world's poor. Let's take a look at each one and see how we're tracking. Number 1. eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. In 1990, 36% of the world's population was living in extreme poverty. In 2010, that proportion was down to 18%. That means we've already halved extreme global poverty. In 1990, 25% of children under 5 years old were underweight. In 2012, that had reduced to 15.1%. Number 2, achieve universal primary education. In 1990, 120 million children couldn't go to primary school. In 2012, that number was 58 million. We're more than halfway along the road to universal primary education. Number 3, promote gender equality and empower women. The proportion of seats held by women in national parliaments has gone up from 12.8% in 1990 to 22.1% in 2014. Number 4, reduce child mortality. In 1990, 90 kids in a global village of 1,000 children died before they turned 5. In 2012, that's down to 48 kids in every 1,000. In some countries, like Malawi and Timor-Leste, under 5 mortality rates have been slashed by 75%. That's a lot of young lives saved. Number 5, improve maternal health. The goal here was to reduce the number of mothers dying during pregnancy and childbirth by 75%. In 1990, for every 100,000 babies born, 380 mums died. In 2013, for every 100,000 babies born, only 210 mums died. So this goal hasn't been reached, but the situation is improving. Number 6, combat preventable diseases like HIV/AIDS and malaria. By working together, the global community has made a lot of ground in the battle against these diseases. For instance, better access to treatment for tuberculosis has saved 22 million lives in the last 20 years. Number 7, ensure environmental sustainability. Since 1990, 2.3 billion people who previously didn't have safe drinking water have gained access to clean water. 89% of the world's population now has clean, safe water to drink. Number 8, develop a global partnership for development. While there's more to be done in all these areas, some great progress has been made. Some countries have made better progress than others. Again, there is spatial inequality. As the UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon said, we're on our way to freeing the world from extreme poverty. So even though time's up on the MDGs, the global community is preparing a new plan to improve human well-being. In 2015, the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, will be finalised, and the world will continue to address the symptoms and causes of extreme poverty.
The final or the closing activity. Implication of Millennium Development Goals. They provide a framework for the whole international community to work together towards a common goal. If these goals are achieved, world poverty will be reduced by half, millions of lives will be saved, and billions of people will benefit from the global economy in a more sustainable development. Here are the importance of Millennium Development Goals. So, number 1 is to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. Second goal is to achieve universal primary education. Third is to promote gender equality and empower women. Fourth is to reduce child mortality. Fifth is to improve maternal health. 6 is to combat HIV, malaria, and other diseases. 7 is ensure environmental sustainability. And 8 is to develop a global partnership of development. Conclusion. Millennium Development Goals represent a novel approach at rolling your global deal, in particular by setting quantitative targets. For the development of the global level, the most important institution, including or governmental organization and transnational corporation, are taking challenges of the MDG very seriously. Universities should be in the forefront of these worldwide efforts. The reference.